Hi, I'm William Lederer, Executive Director here at the Chocolate Church Art Center in Bath, Maine. Now, this is the former Central Church, which was built in 1847. It has been operating as the Chocolate Church Art Center since it was incorporated as a nonprofit organization in 1977. Now, we're making this video as part of the REvitalizeME grant program, which is administered by the Maine Downtown Center in partnership with the Maine Historic Preservation Commission. In April of 2020, we were fortunate enough to receive nearly a $50,000 grant as part of that program, which is going to allow us to hire structural engineers and architects to assess the building, to establish priorities for the renovation of the building, and very importantly, we will finally have a number on what it will cost to completely rehabilitate this place. So you're part of the community here at the Chocolate Church Art Center, and as you watch the video, please think about your experiences here. Think about what's been great, what needs improvement, what you'd like to see happen. There's going to be a link in the description of this video that's going to allow you to access a survey, which you can take and let us know what you think. The Chocolate Church is so lucky to have a very dedicated team of volunteers who give up countless hours of their day. But you know, with that said, there's really only so much these people can do. Without the proper equipment and the kind of licensed professionals that we need, there are just certain things that we can't do. We can only paint so high on the building, for example. So I'm going to take you around the building and I'm going to show you some of the highlights, point out some of the things that need to be done, what has been done in the past, and we're going to start our tour at the very top. Well, here we are at the top of the tower, 81 feet up in the air. Now, something that you might not know is that this tower actually used to be an additional 60 feet tall. There was a spire that the original congregation built that actually came down in a hurricane in 1861. And perhaps wisely, they chose not to replace that spire. Now, in the years that have passed, 173 of them since this place was built, it's become clear that without major renovation, the building is in danger of losing its steeple again. It's been braced by the work of a lot of talented craftspeople, including historic preservationist Aaron Sturgis. But if we don't undertake major efforts to preserve and support this building, we could be looking at the end of the skyline of Bath as we know it. Now, one very interesting feature of this tower is this bell. Now, it weighs over a ton, which is one thing that's going to make renovating this tower pretty challenging. So a few years back, it was suggested by an engineer that we could actually cut a hole in the side of the tower, and the bell and its harness would then be lifted by a crane out and down to the ground. Now, obviously, this is an expensive and logistically challenging operation. So if you have any ideas about what we can do with this bell, or if you happen to be a collector of historic bells, please give me a call. It has been suggested that the CCAC could sell the bell to a collector, so if you know one, please let us know. We're now 3 stories up in the old tower, and from here we get a great rare view of the beautiful Chocolate Church Art Center Theater. Now, in 1987, a committee of volunteers led a significant restoration effort, which resulted in the theater as it appears today. The building was lifted off its crumbling foundation and a full-size basement was added, which is now used as our scene shop, which was built within the foundation walls. Perhaps most importantly, the sanctuary was completely rebuilt and the old wooden pews were replaced with comfortable raked seating, which allows for the best possible audience experience when you're here watching a show. Later, a new tech booth was added for sound and lighting, which means that this one up here is no longer used. We are so grateful to those dedicated volunteers for what they did in the 1980s, and it is now our turn to take up their mantle and do what needs to be done to finish the restoration of this amazing building.
Now, before we wrap up, I wanted to show you a few more examples of the damage that has happened over time in the theater. Plaster is falling from the ceiling, and without professional staging to get up there, our team has no way to fix it. The floors have also certainly seen better days, as you'll see here. If you've ever come to a show at the Chocolate Church Art Center in the winter, you might know that it can be a little bit cold in the theater. Not only is the theater not insulated, you also have issues like this window, where a lot of outside air is coming in. This is a big deal, because not only is it less comfortable for people in the theater, it's also very expensive for the organization to keep the place heated. Like I said earlier, the process we're starting here is step 1 to the total rehabilitation of this cherished building. We are committed to saving this place. By doing so, we will not only preserve an important part of our region's architectural and cultural history, but we will be able to ensure that the CCAC is able to continue presenting the very best in music, theater, dance, and visual art to everyone in Maine and beyond. We are so honored to be the caretakers of this special place, but we cannot do what needs to be done without your help. Before we begin this major preservation effort, we need your input and your support. Please submit your feedback at the link in the description so that we can include your voice in our efforts. This is your community arts center, and we want to know what you think. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you here in the near future to experience the incredible power of the arts together.